On Fox tonight, protests around the country following the release of shocking body cam video showing officers in Memphis, Tennessee, brutally beating a man who officials say would later die from his injuries. This is a live look tonight from Los Angeles, one of the many cities where there are protests. You can see people out there. Police are also on scene, blocking streets there. No major confrontations that we've seen so far. We've also seen similar marches from coast to coast in cities from New York to San Francisco and, of course, in Memphis, Tennessee. And here's a look at the scene in Memphis from earlier tonight when demonstrators blocked a freeway. We've also seen people marching in New York, San Francisco, Boston. We know people right here in Portland gathered earlier this evening, and some are even marching right now. At this point, we have not heard of any widespread damage or injuries from any protests. This all comes in response to the deadly police beating of 29-year-old Tyre Nichols by Memphis police. This case started back on January 7th when Nichols was pulled over for an alleged traffic violation. A confrontation happened and he was beaten by 5 police officers. On January 10th, it was announced that Nichols had died. Then on January 20th, the 5 officers involved were fired after an investigation found they used excessive force, failed to intervene, and failed to render aid. Yesterday, the officers were charged with murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, and official oppression. Shortly after the video was released, Portland city leaders, including Mayor Ted Wheeler and Police Chief Chuck Lavelle, met virtually to denounce the actions of those 5 Memphis officers and send their condolences to the Nichols family. Fox 12's Drew Marine joins us live now with more on how the city is responding. Drew.
Mayor Wheeler says the officers' actions are unacceptable anywhere, and a former state senator says her heart is heavy for Tyre's family. Tyre Nichols' tragic death is one that's shaking up the country.
Why is this happening again? When will it end?
Portland city leaders taking a stand Friday to denounce the cruelty of the former Memphis police officers accused of killing Nichols earlier this month.
Let me be clear. The behavior of those officers is unacceptable anywhere. Those officers failed to protect their community.
Former state senator Margaret Carter stood alongside Mayor Wheeler, Portland's NAACP president James Posey, and Chief Chuck Lavelle during the virtual conference, saying her heart is heavy for the Nichols family.
And as a Black mother, we've been here too many times. This time even being a worse time than before when you look at the footage. But today I join our leaders from across the state in expressing my deep sorrow for the parents of Tyre Nichols.
Hours after the horrific footage of officers beating Nichols was released, more than 100 Portlanders gathered in Northeast Portland to remember Tyre.
Trying to really emphasize that Black people are loved in this country. Their lives do matter.
And to protest police brutality.
I'm really happy to see that they were charged immediately and fired immediately. That is a good sign, but I just want to make sure that it's not reactionary. Killing someone like that is not right, especially by people who are supposed to protect and serve you.
City and county leaders released a joint statement denouncing Tyre's heartbreaking death, saying in part, quote, "We offer our sincere condolences for the unimaginable pain Tyre's family now faces and stand with the Memphis community as it grapples with this terrible loss." Live in Southeast Portland, Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.